moving up and down again. Men go mad with what they're witnessing. There's no discharge in the war.
Hi, how are you? Donald Trump's threatening to nuke Russia. Huh? Yeah, no, dead ass, verbatim. And it's all because of Dmitry Medvedev just, trolling him online. But the thing about Trump is you threaten to troll Trump, he'll threaten to nuke your ass because he's nuts. He's a psychopath. He's a fascist with a nuclear football, which should scare the ever-loving fuck out of everybody. But I don't think we live in a world where people care about Donald J. Trump having the nuclear football. But let's talk about it. So we're going to start off with Trump's truth here. But before we do, hi, I'm Chris Valenti. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. It costs you nothing, and it helps me immensely. If you do want to help the channel financially, a couple ways you could do it by becoming a patron on Patreon. A massive shout out to all of the patrons paying $1, $2, $5 a month to keep this channel going. I really appreciate every single one of you. You could also become a member on YouTube for $5. Thank you to everybody who's ever donated to the channel. You could buy merch. We've got a new merch drop coming out soon. And other than that, thank you for being here. Let's dive right into the fucking news. There's no discharge in my balls. So, Trump tweeted 2 hours ago, or posted on Truth Social, he goes, based on the highly provocative statements of the former president of Russia, Dmitry Medvedev, who is now the deputy chairman of the Security Council of the Russian Federation, I have ordered 2 nuclear submarines to be positioned in the appropriate regions, just in case these foolish and inflammatory statements are more than just that. Words are very important and can often lead to unintended consequences. I hope this will not be one of those instances. Thank you for your attention to this matter. So yeah, that's just Trump literally saying, I'm moving 2 nuclear subs within Russia, and if you keep on fucking making fun of me on Twitter, I'm gonna nuke you. Oh, and this is in response. Let me show you what he's trying to respond to. He's trying to respond to Dmitry Medvedev, former president of Russia, and all he said was this. Trump issued a theatrical ultimatum to the Kremlin. The world shuddered, expecting the consequences. Belligerent Europe was disappointed. Russia didn't care. Now, this is because Trump is like, I'm giving them a new deadline. They're going to have a ceasefire within 50 days, or I'm going to put sanctions on them. Meanwhile, we've put sanctions on Russia fucking dozens of times. It doesn't do anything. Russia is in the BRICS nations. They can fucking trade with 48% of the world population. They don't need 365 million American consumers. They don't care about sanctions. Over and over again, right? And then Medvedev tweeted this. Trump playing the ultimate game with Russia. 50 days or 10. He should remember 2 things. 1, that Russia isn't Israel or even Iran. 2, each new ultimatum is a threat and a step towards war, not between Russia and Ukraine, but with his own country. Don't go down the Sleepy Joe road. I actually think Trump is threatening to nuke him because he compared him to Sleepy Joe. Not even fucking kidding. So what does this mean? Let's break it down. Russia isn't Israel or even Iran. What does that mean? It means we are not your little buddy lapdog bitch. We don't give a fuck what you have to say. That's what Medvedev is saying. Because Israel will do whatever we tell them to do, and we will do whatever Israel tells us to do. Iran will follow anyone's orders. They're like, a very wimpy nation that just does not want to be fucked with. The second part here is saying that you do not have any cards in the Russia-Ukraine conflict, okay? And every time you give an ultimatum, it is a threat towards war, but not between Russia and Ukraine. It is a threat of war within your own country. Why is that? And he is correct. It's because this is warmongering. Every single time Donald Trump threatens to fucking nuclear blast Russia or invade Greenland or invade the Panama Canal or go to war with Mexico or fucking conquer Gaza or bomb bomb Iran. Every time he does that, more and more people in the United States realize that this motherfucker couldn't give less of a shit if we lived or died, as long as he is profiting off of the military-industrial complex. That's his whole fucking thing. Trump doesn't care about you or your soldier nephew who's fighting in the fucking Middle East. He doesn't give a shit if that guy lives or dies. All he cares about is profiting off of combat. It's fucking insane. Well, look at this. Trump says he moved 2 nuclear submarines after Russia's Medvedev warns the United States. President Donald Trump on Friday said that he ordered 2 nuclear submarines to be positioned in the appropriate regions in response to warnings made to the United States this week. There was no warning. We just read it. Medvedev, in a social media post on Monday, wrote that each ultimatum that Trump makes about Russia is a force to end its war in Ukraine, is a threat and a step towards war, not between Russia and Ukraine, but with his own country. Trump earlier on Monday said that he was cutting from 50 days to less than 2 weeks in his deadline for Russian President Vladimir Putin to reach a peace deal with Ukraine or face big secondary tariffs. Oh my God, he doesn't give a fuck, dude. He doesn't give a fuck. So yeah, listen, Trump is realizing that he has no power, so the only thing that this fat orange fucking idiot can think of is threatening nuclear holocaust. Now, meanwhile, in other news, Epstein. The FBI redacted Trump's name in the Epstein files. They had a final review of the files, and they had a team of about 1,000 FBI agents run through like 100 to 200,000 pages and redact Trump's name on every single page. I talked about this last week while they were doing it. Literally made a video about this. People like me, people like Kyle Kalinske, you got to watch this. You got to catch up, because mainstream media is going to be playing catch up ball. They're always about a week late to these fucking stories. So, the most transparent administration in history. Before explaining the government's rationale for blacking out Trump's name, let's recap. Along with aliens and JFK's assassination, conspiracy theories surrounding the life and death of convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein have long consumed MAGA. We all know this. We all know this. We all know this. Give me the good part. Trump's name blacked out. What happened next kicked off a new phase of the Epstein saga. As I reported in the March 28th edition of the FOIA files, Patel directed FBI special agents from the New York and Washington field offices to join the Bureau's FOIA employees at its sprawling Central Records complex in Winchester, Virginia, and another building a few miles away. They were instructed to search for and review every single Epstein-related document and to determine what could be released. That included a mountain of material accumulated by the FBI over nearly 2 decades, including grand jury testimony, prosecutors' case files, as well as tens of thousands of pages of the Bureau's own investigative files on Epstein. It was a Herculean task that involved as many as 1,000 FBI agents pulling all-nighters, going through 100,000 documents. Where is it? While reviewing the Epstein files, FBI personnel identified numerous references to Trump in the documents. The people familiar with the matter told me. Dozens of other high-profile public figures also appeared, the people said. The appearance of Trump's name or others in the Epstein files is not evidence of a crime or even suggestion of wrongdoing. Come on. Oh, God. The reviewers applied 2 FOIA exemptions to justify their redactions. Protects individuals against a clearly unwarranted invasion of personal privacy. You gotta be fucking kidding me. So, this is also what I said a couple of weeks ago. If you've been watching me for a while, I said they are going to release N Epstein files. It's not going to be the real files. It's going to be a fully redacted one that just says that, like, the only name that's not going to be redacted is, like, Bill Clinton.
This morning, Maryland Governor Wes Moore is slammed.
Yeah, then we've got new breaking news. Moving on to this. Maryland flooded terribly, and Trump is refusing to send them funds, FEMA funds, to fix the fucking problem. And this is probably because they have a black leader.
The Trump administration's decision to deny FEMA funding to his state. So this is in response to devastating flooding back in May. The governor had asked the federal government for millions of dollars to rebuild severely impacted roads, bridges, and also buildings in 2 counties.
I told the Trump administration directly that I thought this decision was petty, that it was partisan, and that there was no basis for it. It is unprecedented for a governor of Maryland to be able to put in for emergency disaster federal relief especially when we not just hit the criteria, we exceed the criteria.
A FEMA spokesperson telling CNN when we had asked about this that it worked closely with Maryland officials to evaluate the request for aid, noting, quote, this decision, just like all disaster requests, was based on policy, not politics. Joining me now.
Meanwhile, Trump said himself that after this year, they are going to completely phase out FEMA. They're getting rid of FEMA entirely. Meanwhile, we got like super weather events inbound. Now, the last topic I want to cover is that it is August 1st, which means that Trump's tariff plan just went into effect. And let's talk about how the market reacted. It fucking crashed. Markets rattled by Trump's new tariff policy and the weak jobs growth. So a couple of things. One, we had job numbers came out, and we have terrible job numbers that came out. So Trump decides he's going to immediately fire the woman who did the report, because he's a fucking beta bitch and he can't handle it when things don't go his way. Look at this. Trump says he's directing team to immediately fire senior official over the jobs numbers. She will be replaced with someone much more competent and qualified. Important numbers like this must be fair and accurate. They can't be manipulated for political purposes, which is literally what he's going to do, is manipulate the fucking jobs numbers. Look, everything's okay. Everything's fine. Meanwhile, the whole fucking nation is burning to the ground. It's unbelievable. Now, second thing is this. Let's look at the markets, right? Here's the 1 month of the Dow, right? Very, tumultuous, up and down, 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 up and down. And then what is this? What is this? This is right before Trump's terrible fucking tariff plan goes in. Boom. Welcome to the Recession 2 Electric Boogaloo. Here's the NASDAQ. Right here. Look at this spike. July 31st, boom. Plummet. Here's the S&P. I know it's green, and some dumb fucking Republican is going to go, say it's green. But see, it's going up, it's going up, it's going up. Trump's tariffs are coming in, and boom, a plummet. Donald Trump's entire fucking tariff plan is literally going to increase the goods of all things in the United States from between 10 and 50%. Nobody can afford anything right now, and we're about to be locked into the most expensive shit that you could imagine. And the thing is, people think like, well, why didn't it happen over the past 3 months? They were relying on surplus. These major corporations were selling their surplus goods, trying to pray to God that Trump would pull out of this tariff plan. And now that they're out of their surplus goods, now they're going to have to kick up the prices. Get ready for it. Get ready for it. This goddamn motherfucker is going to destroy this fucking nation. All right, listen, if you're watching this live, you stay. We're going to keep going. If you're watching this pre-recorded on YouTube, thank you very much for tuning in to the Valenti Vod. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. It costs you nothing, and it helps me immensely. And do me one other thing. Click that video right over there. It's a banger, and I know bangers.